I learned that computer science is not just about syntax and coding. We can make a difference in people's life by developing applications. So hello and welcome. I'm your host, Dr. Ruby Gill, and I feel privileged to extend my warm welcome on the behalf of lovely professional university. So attendees, we all are gathered here virtually to witness an incredible session with our expert as she is going to tell us all about AWS. Let's explore it. So I'm sure you are as excited as I am for today's learning process. But before we commence, allow me to introduce the experts of the day. Ms. Ranjit Kaur Walia, Assistant Professor, School of Computer Application, lovely professional university. A young and dynamic personality with an experience of 8 years as an academician. To her credit, she is certified AWS educator and certified AWS cloud practitioner and has an upper hand on this dynamic course. Her expertise lies in database and cloud computing, which is delivered to her students in optimum way. So, ma'am, it's a privilege to have you on board with us today. Thank you so much for joining us. With equal pleasure, I would like to welcome our admission nominee, Mr. Pankaj Ridge, Assistant Director, Head, Department of Tie-Ups, Division of Admissions, lovely professional university. An intellectual personality who holds a master's degree in management with a keen area of interest in training and development. With an experience of more than 2 decades in multiple domains, including teaching, training, and operation, he has occupied strategic positions in multiple organizations of repute. Today, he'll be going to discuss about eligibility, scholarship, fee structure, and infrastructure part of the university. So, sir, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time. Thank you so much for joining us. So with this, we'll begin our today's webinar and looking forward for a great interactive session. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ruby ma'am, for such a wonderful introduction. I'm glad. So I welcome you all who have joined this webinar. So for your introduction and for your information, everyone, I would like to have this webinar on the topic AWS. As you can see on my screen, it's about Amazon Web Services, right? So today we will explore everything about AWS. We will explore all the services and everything. So before discussing AWS in detail, everyone, let's have a keen look on the agenda of today's. All right. So as you can see, we will be discussing about, first of all, what is AWS in actual, and then I'll discuss about the various features of AWS, and then I'll be discussing about the various products that AWS provides us. And along with that, the pricing model of AWS, because AWS uses a specific pricing model in order to use their services. I'll be providing a look at that. And then I'll be discussing about AWS global infrastructure, because AWS is touching every corner of the world. So I think, and I believe this is the most important point that I need to discuss in today's webinar. And after that, I'll be discussing about the benefits of AWS, along with, after completing the keen introduction of AWS, because all the students are always keen to know about what is cloud engineer, who is cloud engineer, what are the roles of cloud engineer, and what are the various responsibilities of cloud engineer. Along with that, we need to see the job opportunities, right? Because nowadays we all are excited and we all want to know what are the various areas where we can apply and why we need to do the certifications other than our academics. And along with that, I'll be discussing about how to become cloud engineer, right? What are the ways by, like, what are the different areas and what are the various steps that we need to explore in order to reach at the level of cloud engineer. And then I'll be discussing about AWS customer, because that is the extremely important point that we should know what are the various MNCs that are using AWS services nowadays, and how we can apply there. Then I'll be discussing about the various AWS certifications, because that is the important point of today's talk, that if we know about AWS, if we know about the various features, services, and the various customers of AWS, then the important thing is what are the various certifications that we can go for. And at last, that will be very interesting. I'll be providing you the information about various projects that you can have on AWS, that you can implement on AWS in order to learn on your own, to do the practice. So I'll be providing you a list of various projects that we can develop in AWS. So along with this, now I'm going to start with AWS. So let's get started, guys. So I'll be discussing about now what is AWS, right? So if I say AWS is the most comprehensive and broad MNC organization which is providing its services to the million of customers all over the world. All the customers nowadays wants to use AWS services. All the organization, whether the organizations are at the smaller level or at the higher level, they want to experience the AWS services, because AWS provide the services on pay as you go basis. You do not need to have the upfront cost. You can pay to the AWS services as the services being used by you. So there you do not need to worry about the pricing. You do not need to worry about the cost. AWS provides number of services to us with the help of which we can easily deploy our own infrastructure and the various services that are being used by organization in cloud easily. That means Amazon Web Services provide their own servers and their services, whether it is compute service, storage service, database service, or it is machine learning services, big data analytics services, or I can say the Internet of Things services, right? So every area AWS is touching in. Most organization, they can make use of a number of services which are being used and which are being provided by AWS. If I talk about the various database services, there are a number of database, whether it is the SQL database, NoSQL database, any type of database you can use and you can work on. And AWS follow the feature that they are keep on inventing new things, and so that the organizations can grow. Most importantly, the organization can use the serverless compute service by making use of Lambda service. Lambda is a very important service which is being provided by AWS, along with the SageMaker service, which is the machine learning service which is being provided by, and almost all the MNCs nowadays making use of machine learning services and the artificial intelligence services all over the world. So this is how the AWS is making providing us number of services all over the world. As you can see on your screen, there are the number of regions, and AWS is serving every corner of the world nowadays. So as I used a term, that cloud, right? So now I need to tell you a little bit about what is cloud and how cloud is related to AWS. Amazon Web Services, it is based on cloud. It is the one of the biggest cloud service providers we have. Along with Microsoft is there, Oracle is there, Azure is there, right? But one of the most famous and who started the cloud services initially is Amazon Web Services. As we can see, cloud computing, what does it mean? It means we can use the infrastructure, we can use the servers, we can use the various services via internet, right? And there is no need to maintain our own servers in order to do various things on our servers, because servers nowadays are really very costly. So we do not need to spend more on the servers. That's why what we do, we go to the cloud service provider, we use their resources, and we pay as per the uses, right? So there are different type of cloud services we can have. We can have the compute, storage, database services and everything, and all these services are being provided by AWS nowadays. And we will explore more, like what are the services in depth we are going to explore in today's webinar. So now let's have a look. Let's study AWS with the use case example, right? So now suppose so that we can have a practical aspect of the AWS, we can see the practical approach of AWS in detail. Now let's see, there is a person, right? You can name it anything, you can name it as ABC. There is a person who invented Instagram like application, right? And now he wants that that application needs to be live, and he wants to launch it. In order to launch it, it's his laptop is not sufficient. Obviously he needs to buy server, so he bought server, he installed launched that Instagram particular application on that server. And what next, when he made the Instagram like app live and it has been launched, the traffic started coming, right? Lots and lots of traffic started coming. One user created account, then next user creating account, and more users are coming in into that particular application. So everything is going well. What is the what is the tension point, why he needs to worry about? Let's see here. Suddenly one day come, like more people are joining and making use of that application, and the servers are not enough to handle the load of the incoming traffic. So the servers are getting off, they started getting down, right? So in that particular situation, that is the very scary situation for the owner of that application. So in that case, obviously there is only one solution, that person has to buy more and more servers so that he can handle the load of or more people who are using that particular application, right? So he bought more server, which obviously which is a very costly process. He might have invested lakhs in order to buy new servers, though he was happy that everything is going fine. But in that particular time, everything is not we can say everything is not a happy ending. So here again the servers went down. Again a drastic situation is there. So that is again a scary situation. In that situation also, that person has to buy more and more servers again, because his application is getting more popular. The more persons are joining in, more persons are sharing the videos on that application, more persons are posting, live streaming is there. So it is not being handled, it is not being done on that particular available servers. So what does he want to do now? He will go for the maintenance, right? He call the maintenance team, hire the various staff, the software engineers, experts, to handle everything and to fix everything. But again, that is really very costly, right? Again, he has to pay lots of money in order to set everything. So in that case, why we need to pay again and again? Why we need to have more and more servers in order to incorporate, in order to handle the situation of such type of drastic situations, right? So what we can do there, AWS come into picture, like, why don't you use my servers? I'm there. You do not need to deploy your own infrastructure. You can install, you can launch your application by making use of my infrastructure, and you just need to pay me very less as comparatively to having your own infrastructure at your grounds. So that is the good enough thing. AWS is handling everything. There is no need for that person to hire new staff, right? To hire new security persons, to hire a new maintenance team. So the cost will be deducted at that, and there is no need to buy more and more servers over there. So that is why AWS come into picture over there. So I hope you guys understand, like what why AWS is important nowadays, because every organization is nowadays shifting to cloud, right? Every single organization, whether it is just a startup or a small enterprise or the biggest enterprise, they want to use the services of cloud, because they want to cut down the unnecessary cost which they which they have to go for in order to have the new servers, and in order to have the new training staffs and everything. So there AWS comes into picture, and we can say AWS is the leading cloud platform nowadays. And if I talk about the various features of AWS, the various features are, first of all, the most functionality, because AWS provides us lots and lots of service. In the coming slides, I'll be talking about the various services so that you can have a good knowledge about the services, and you can know how you can deploy various applications by making use of a number of services being provided by AWS. Then there is a largest community of customers and partners. If you become a member of AWS, AWS is serving millions of customers all over the world nowadays, right? When I'll be talking about the customers and the various partners of AWS, then you guys can come to know, okay, these are the various companies we already have had in our head, but we were not aware that they are using AWS services, right? And it is most secure cloud platform, right? It provides security. The data is kept on AWS in the encrypted mechanism. Whenever the data travel over internet, it is encrypted, and then the decryption is done when the receiver receives the data. Then the fastest pace of innovation. AWS is as you can say, is the organization which believes in regular innovations, right? So they are inventing new services again and again, like the SageMaker is there, Lambda is there, EC2 is there, EMR is there, ECR there. So many services are being invented by AWS again and again. Then most proven operational expertise. AWS, they are very mature, and they are the leading industry in cloud platforms, in cloud service providers. So they have experts with them who can handle each and everything which is the requirement of big MNCs. So that is why now we use AWS. Everyone is making use of AWS, and learning AWS is the demand of time, right? So that is why we need to have the certification, so that we can prove that I know how to work on AWS. I can handle everything what is being used by the organization. Whatever the service is being used by organization of AWS, that person can handle it well, right? So talking about the products of AWS, as you can see, AWS is touching every horizon of the service. Whether it is analytics, we can do the big data analytics by using AWS. We can do the application integration. Blockchain is a very hot topic nowadays. Blockchain services are being provided by AWS, along with the business applications, compute, container, database services, whether we are using SQL or the NoSQL database. A number of database services are being provided by AWS. The developer options are there, front end, web and mobile application. We can also deploy our websites on the AWS servers within no time. Related to the gaming also, like every youngster they are very interested in playing games. So various gaming MNCs, they are making use of AWS services. In Internet of Things, machine learning like is a area is such an area where the research is going on continuously. So a person without, like I can say, without having much information or the hands-on practice of machine learning algorithms or anything, they can make use of AWS services. They can invent, they can do the research, they can do the innovations, and they can good to go. So there is management, governance, media services, migration, networking, quantum technology, serverless. If I talk about Lambda, serverless services means there is no need to have our own servers. We can simply deploy our code on the Lambda services, and we can like do the amazing things on AWS. Then the services related to satellites, robotics, storage. So tons of services are being provided by AWS near about, if I say, in every genre, everywhere AWS is nowadays shining. Now let's talk about we can dig deep, like in analytics. If I say, what are the major services being used in analytics? As you can see, Amazon Athena is a service, then Amazon EMR, Amazon managed streaming like Kafka, data exchange, then we have cloud search, FinSpace. So these are the paid services. Paid services means like whatever for how much time you are using that services, you have to pay for that amount of time only, right? And there are various services which are provided provided for the free trial also. You just need to create your account on AWS, and you can use the various freely available services in order to do the practice, in order to do the research work, in order to do the innovative work. Like the services we have, the Redshift is there, data pipeline is there, then we have Kinesis is there, Glue service is there. So a lot of services are being provided by, and these services comes under analytics. Nowadays, big data analytics is higher in demand. Data science and analytics are higher in demand, right? So we can do our research work and we can do the innovation work with by using these services provided by AWS. Along with that, if I talk about the various business applications, we have Alexa. Maybe most of people are aware about Alexa. We have Alexa for business. We have Amazon Work Docs, again, that is freely available. Amazon Chime is there, Workmail is there, right? So such services we can explore and we can practice. If I talk about front end web and mobile, we have AWS Amplify, we have Amazon Pinpoint, API Gateway, location server, device farm. All these services are freely available. We just need to create account and we are ready to use the services. Then we have, if I talk about the gaming era, right? Gaming area. So there we have Amazon Game Lift, we have Amazon Libeyard. So these services are being used by the various MNCs in order to deploy their games online, and so that they do not feel the customers can experience the 3D quality of the games and they do not feel any lag. So that is why they are making use of the AWS services there. Talking about VR, robotics, we have Amazon Submarine, RoboMaker is there in order to make use of the various robotic research work or the innovation work, or the businesses which are working on robotics, they can make use of these services. And all right, so this was about the various Amazon services which we can use. And next, I'll provide you the knowledge about various customers, right? So AWS is touching every corner of the fields. As you can see, AWS is in advertising and marketing, it is in agriculture, it is in automotive, it is in education, it is in energy, financial services. The various government organizations are also making use of AWS. Hospitals, the various healthcare organization, they right now the hospitals, they are very keen and they are very interested to have the knowledge of machine learning and AI. They are making use of various machine learning and AI techniques in order to make good decisions, in order to make perfect decisions for their patients. There are manufacturing industries. Then we have a number of media, travel, hospitality, retail. What should I say? Everywhere. I can't miss a single field. Whatever you think about any field you think about, everywhere you can find AWS. But the thing is, most of the time we guys are not aware about, okay, this is the field. If I talk about the education field, but we are not aware about the healthcare field, we are not aware about the manufacturing field, we are not aware about the retail field. So how AWS prepare is billing and everything. So the billing cycle is about per hour billing. Whatever the service you are using on AWS, on per hour basis you have to pay. Whatever you are using, you have to pay for that only. If you are not making use of the service, there will be no any bill for that service, right? So region specific prices, pricing are there. Region is like whether we are using the services in India or whether we are using the services in USA or UK. According to the region, the cost is different. And we can also save our money of services by using reserve instances. Reserve instances, suppose if in the by creating the account, I know these many services I need to use, and I can take all the services all together into my account, and I can get the discount of 90% over there. So get incredible low prices using the spot pricing. That means it cut down the upfront cost. There is no need to pay all the entire amount at the first hand. We can pay as we are using the services. So the basic model is pay as you go. All right, so discussing about the next thing is about the AWS global infrastructure. Why global? Because worldwide AWS is present. AWS right now having 31 regions, right, with 99 availability zones and 410 points of presence with 400 edge locations and different areas, right? Availability zones you can say as the data centers, right? So regions, as you can say, in India is one of the region, right? In USA, number of regions will be there, right? We have the point of presence, the availability zones are there. If I talk about specifically, if I talk about India, as you can see in India, how many regions are there of AWS? We have two regions of AWS. One region has recently been launched, and before that, it was having only one region in India, and that is Mumbai, right? So in Mumbai, AWS has set its data center, and everything is there. And along with the local zones are present in Delhi and Calcutta. And if I talk about the recent opening, the recent launch of the new region, it has been launched in the last year 2022 in Hyderabad. So Hyderabad is also serving with the 3 availability zones. So there are 3 availability zones in Hyderabad, the data centers of AWS, and the 3 availability zones are there in Mumbai, the data centers of AWS. So that why I'm telling you these things, I'm telling you these things because we need to aware about such things. Okay, we have the AWS services in India also, we can use it, but what are the data, where are the data centers of AWS? And if we have expertise in AWS, then we can apply there, then we can search for the various jobs. After getting the AWS certification, we can apply there easily. And if we are expert, if we know practically everything on AWS, then it will be very easy for us to settle down in that particular data center, right? So next, I'll be talking about the benefits of AWS. What are the major benefits? So major benefits are in the area of security first, because whatever AWS is providing, that is completely secure. It is providing the tight security. Everything is encrypted, right? Most of the services, if it is providing 200 fully services, right, and amongst them, almost all the services are encrypted, right? So we do not need to worry about what is happening over AWS. Our data is secure there. Availability, it is 24/7 available, right? Whenever we want to use AWS, it is there. Performance, it provides us very good performance, right? Scalability is there. If we want to scale up, we want to add more virtual servers to our organization, we can do that. If we want to cut down the number of servers as per the requirement, we can also do that. That is completely flexible. So it is flexible. New technologies, if when they are coming up, it can be grouped into the already existing various services. And global footprint, it is in the global reach, it is the global service. So number and tons of AWS benefits are there. That is why AWS is becoming a star amongst all the cloud service providers. So now, since I have talked already a lot about AWS, its introduction services and the various its global infrastructure, then I need to know. Then I need to tell you about the cloud engineer, because the basic purpose of today's talk is to let our students know, whoever watching this seminar webinar, I want you people to know, like, these are the various areas, and we need to have good knowledge if we want to attain good jobs in this particular area. Who is cloud engineer? First of all, cloud engineer who set up the entire architecture of all the cloud services, whatever the services they are. The cloud engineers have expert hands in using those services, in deploying those services, implementation, and they are expert in coding also. Migrating existing infrastructure to cloud. Now suppose if I have an organization and I am running everything onto my own servers, but those servers are not limited to take the load of everything. So I decided, one day I decided to convert, to shift my own infrastructure to the cloud, right? So I need cloud engineer for that, because suppose if I'm a layman, I have no knowledge about cloud, so I would like to hire a cloud engineer who can do this thing for me, who can shift my infrastructure to the cloud servers. So next, they manage access, they manage the security of cloud, everything is there. They provide administration power, maintenance power, troubleshooting, everything is handled by cloud engineers, along with identification, analysis, resolving of infrastructure vulnerabilities, and application deployment issues. So cloud engineer, technically speaking, handles each and everything which is related to the cloud and related to the cloud servers, and whatever we need to do on cloud server, which is being handled by cloud engineers. This is the interesting thing that we need to know, right? What are the various job roles of cloud engineers we have? Because most of the time we have a very limited knowledge about the various jobs that are present, that are nowadays present in the field of IT. But that is not the limited thing. There are tons of job roles which are available, and because we guys do not have much of the knowledge, that is why we most of the time we say there are no jobs here, but number of jobs are here. So as you can see in the cloud field itself, the jobs like cloud architect, you can say AWS architect or the AWS solution architect. This is the major job role. Every MNC has this job role. And, architect means which the person who architect, build, maintain the scalable AWS environment and provide the technical architecture, right? Then there is the role of cloud developer. Cloud developer who build the various software services, the coding related persons, they are there. Then cloud system administrator, AWS sysops administrator, cloud DevOps engineers, the roles are there. And meanwhile, you can see in the third column, you can see the average yearly salary. It's near about it goes beyond like 1 crore, 1.5 crore, and so on, if I talk about in rupees. So the salaries in cloud field are quite higher. So if anybody wants to set a good life and wants to have a dream life, then they can surely go for the cloud services, and they can earn the cloud certification to get a good job. Along with this, we have another job roles also, like the cloud network engineer is there, cloud data architect is there. Data architect, which who is going to develop everything which is related to the database, resources, technology, services, everything. Then cloud consultant, the job of consultant is there. Like suppose if someone is not good, that much good in coding, then they can go for this job also, because they can get the training, like how to do a little bit coding that can serve the purpose. They provide technical expertise, strategies in design. They can deploy AWS cloud solutions. By learning everything in the first hand, any person can go for the job of cloud consultant. Then we have cloud DevOps. DevOps nowadays are running, guys, like we are having the services of Docker container, right? We have the services of Kubernetes. We need to know how to deploy Docker container, how to work with Kubernetes, how we can use the various AWS services, AWS DevOps services in order to deploy the containers. Then we have the services of cloud security engineer also, right? So number of services, as you can see, along with the salary. And I hope this thing excites you more, so that you can along with your degrees, you can go for this particular area and you can earn the certifications in cloud, and you can feel, okay, this is how I can work in this area, right? All right, so talking about next thing, if I would like to find out the various job opportunities for cloud engineer, like if you type on Google, you can find a number of plenty of job opportunities on Naukri.com, on LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoors. You just need to check it out on Google. Just type Google opportunities for cloud engineer and you can explore everything. That is how, that is why I'm telling you all that this is how you need to boost up your skills and you need to work in a particular area, right? So next, okay, now let's learn. We had talked about lots of things now, and now we need to like know how we can become cloud engineer. Clear? So first of all, in order to become cloud engineer, what we need to do, we need to obtain our bachelor's degree. That is the primary, we can say primary step, right? The primary stepstone we need to complete the bachelor's degree in the field of computers only, and then we can think about the other things. We need to have the good knowledge of all cloud service providers. I have already mentioned, other than AWS, the other cloud service providers are, we have Oracle, we have Azure, right? We have yeah, Google Cloud also. So these are the various cloud service providers. We need to have a good knowledge about their services also, because some of the MNCs are there who are making use of AWS services, some are using the cloud services, few are using Oracle or Azure. So we need to know about everything, right? And then is getting the bachelor's degree and to knowing about all the cloud service provider, is that sufficient? Is that enough? No, that is not enough, because we need to have the expertise. The practical approach is in demand. If you have theoretical knowledge, that's not gonna serve your purpose of like dreaming about the dream life that you want to live. So you need to have the relevant hands-on experience, right? The practical approach, the coding skills that you need to inculcate in yourself, it's most important. And after that, you need to do, and you need to go for a good certification. Why? If I already have the knowledge, I already know how to code, everything I know, why do I need certification? I need certification so that someone is there to validate my skills, right? If I have certification, I can go in any of the MNC to crack their crack their interview and to show them, okay, this is the certificate I have, and it is validating that I have the skills, I know how to code, I know how to work in AWS. That is why the extra certifications are essential along with your graduation, whether you are doing graduation or whether you are pursuing your post graduation. Certification is the most important thing. Okay, so now let's talk about the various AWS customers that have, because we know AWS, okay, and we know how to explore the various services. Now we need to know what are the various MNCs who are making use of AWS. Let's see. So the MNCs here in the financial services, like we have Fenra, we have Initiative, we have Capital, and in retail also we have Aldo, Coca-Cola, Glossier, we have in media and entertainment, Netflix, right? Netflix is, like, we can say, one of the biggest service users of AWS. Along with that, we have Formula One, right? So many services, as you can see, Coursera, right? That is also there. Digital Globe is also there, along with the GE Healthcare. If you explore about GE Healthcare, they are making use of AWS, specifically the machine learning services, the AI services, so that they can do better decision making in the field of healthcare. Along with the Epic Games, if you guys are interested in games, you might have heard about the Epic Games. They are also making use of AWS services. They are making use of all the servers. Along with the Live Nation Entertainment, they are also using AWS services. Now, here is a glimpse about various customers who are making use of specifically AI and machine learning solutions. As you can say, Policy Bazaar, Shadi.com is there, Redbus is there, right? Intellect is there, More, Biz2Credit, Zomato. So all such companies, we know these companies, we heard their names, but we were not aware before which services they guys are using. So they are completely dependent upon AWS. Along with that, we have Paytm, we have Titan, we have Axis Bank, Mahindra, then the another enterprises. As you can see, there is a endless list of the customers of AWS, like the Infosys is there, Johnson is there, Tata Motors, right? Tech Mahindra, Bajaj, HDFC. But I'm like, it's overwhelming thing, right? Lots of customers are using AWS services, and we were not aware about uh, before what the services and what are the customers. If I talk about the various startups, Byju's, they are using AWS services, Nykaa, Zomato, uh, another number of lots of customers they have, PayU people, right? If I talk about the small and medium level businesses, they have, like, the Punjab Kesari is there, Danik Bhaskar, Hammer Ice Cream, right? All they are making use of such services. So now guys, we attained the knowledge of AWS. Now we know what is AWS, why it is called as cloud service provider, what are the various services which are being provided by AWS, we already know about it, what are the various products we know about it, how we can become cloud engineer, what are the various roles in the area of cloud, we already know this, right? Now we need to know how we can build our career in AWS cloud, in cloud, right? So how we can go for that? First of all, we need to have AWS training and certification. Why certification? As I have already told you, it is going to validate your skills, right? You will be having various virtual labs. AWS provide you the various virtual labs where you can work virtually, right? Hands-on practice you can do, and you then only then you can think about, this is how I can build my future in AWS cloud. So if I talk about the certifications there, AWS divide the certification into number of categories, like it can be the role based services or it can be the solution based services. If I talk about the role based services, cloud architect, practitioner, developer, DevOps, machine learning, operations are there. If I talk about by solution, advanced networking, data analytics, database, it's like in whatever the field you guys are interested. If you are interested in machine learning, you can go for those courses, you can go for those certifications. If you are interested in data analytics, then you can go for those particular courses and the certifications. So AWS certification basically enhance your knowledge and make you industry ready, because every MNC, they want those people who have the practical knowledge. And since you have seen so many millions of companies, they are using AWS services, and nowadays they need those people who have earned AWS certificates so that they can hire them and they can provide you all the authority so that they can handle their cloud infrastructure and everything that can be handled by those persons. So that is why we need AWS certification nowadays, and it is extremely important if you want to become a cloud engineer, right? So what are the mechanism, what are the various ways to take AWS certification? You can take the AWS certification either virtually by sitting at your home, that it is completely proctor based exam, like, and after also you can take the AWS examination by visiting the various testing centers. So AWS has provided in almost all the regions, all the states of India, like cities in Jalandhar also, they have their testing centers where we can go and take the AWS exam, and then we can, if we like cross the passing marks, we can be certified. Now let's talk about the various certifications that we can go. First of all, the fundamental certification is about cloud practitioner, where you learn about the various AWS services. AWS provide us with the various virtual labs so that we can use and we can work and we can learn how the AWS is serving their customer. We can do the little bit coding also. We can learn about like various SageMaker, the database services, Athena services, EC2, S3, whatever the services they are. We usually work practically by in this cloud practitioner course. After that, at the advanced level, at the associate level, we have the three different type of certification. AWS solution architect is there, SysOp administrator, developer is there. Then if I want to go higher, then we have the professional certifications, like the solution architect is there, DevOps engineer is there. And talking about the speciality, it is like more on the higher level, right? It need more deeper knowledge about AWS, more coding skills we need in order to crack these examinations, like the advanced networking, database security, and everything is there. You can explore the various certification by just visiting AWS site, right? You need to if you want to Google it out, you can type AWS certifications, right? It is the site link is aws.com/certificates. Then you can check out the various certification, how to prepare for it, what is the fee and everything. If I talk about the fee, it is nearly about for cloud practitioner is about nearly about between 9 to 10,000 somewhere. But the facility, the benefit is that here in LPU, if anyone wants to go for any of the certification, if they enroll under me, they will get the 50% discount in their fee, and along with many more other benefits, because I'm the certified AWS educator. So I have those benefits that I can provide to my students also. All right, so next, coming up about various projects that you can guys can explore in order to know how AWS work. What projects we can have. We can launch a static website on AWS S3 service, right? We can learn about if I have created any simple HTML website along with Bootstrap, JavaScript, CSS. I can learn how to deploy it and how to make it live on Amazon S3. I can use the CloudFormation to launch Amazon EC2 web server. That project I can do. Add a CI/CD pipeline to Amazon S3 bucket, publish Amazon CloudWatch metrics to CSV file, right? Then train and deploy machine learning model using SageMaker. If I want to learn, if I want to do hands-on practice in machine learning specially, then I can do this particular project, deploy a simple React web application using AWS Amplify. Amplify is another application with the help of which we can learn how we can deploy our web application. Then we can also create Alexa skills by using AWS Lambda service. Lambda service is the most popular service for the developers and who want to practice it out without owning their own servers. Recognize the this is very interesting project. Recognize celebrities using Amazon Recognition, Lambda, and S3, right? So face recognition projects we can do by using these three services of Amazon. Then host a dedicated Jenkins server, and these are the various projects that we can go for, and we can have hands-on practice. We can also create a chat bot that can translate languages using Amazon Translate and Amazon Lex. So these are the all things we can do in AWS, and I hope like those people who are watching this seminar, this webinar, they might have attained a good knowledge about AWS, the crisp knowledge, the very brief knowledge, right, about AWS, what it is and what are the services and how we can become cloud engineer and what are the various certifications that we can go for AWS. But still, if anybody wants any type of if anybody wants any type of help from my side regarding AWS, they can visit me anytime in LPU here, right? So this is all about from my side. I hope you have enjoyed this webinar, because this is I'm not going to provide you the demo in this because time constraint is also there. So this is the things, these all are the things about AWS. So now we can have the question answers, or if anybody wants to like have any type of query, they can go. We are open to take queries. Yes, over to you, Ruby ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your impactful presentation, your insight, and for your guidance. I'm sure your expertise and knowledge is exactly what student needs today to move forward and grow exponentially. So thank you so much, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we have few queries from our attendees. So with your permission, we'll take up those queries.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
All right. So, ma'am, there is a query from Adi Jain. He wants to know that if he has his own highly efficient software, which is a highly confidential algorithm, then is it safe to host on third party?
Yes, it is yes, it is technical, and I'm glad students are thinking like this way. It is extremely safe. As I have already told you that AWS is the most secure, right? Whether it is third party, but the first criteria is to make sure that they provide security to their customer, right? As you have seen in the previous slides, there are a number of MNCs, they are using AWS services, and the data is the most like we can say is the most important thing we care about. So if Netflix is using, the other companies are using, Mahindra, every company nowadays making use of AWS, so their data is secure because they work on encryption. So every data is secure in AWS, that is completely confidential. We do not need to worry about it.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So we'll take up another query. It's very quite interesting question from Armanjeet. He wants to know that what kind of challenges you have faced in your academic era, which you think LPU students will not face in your department. So what's your take on this, ma'am?
Okay, that's a really very good question because I have to go back and to memorize my own my own time when I was a student. So talking about the various academic challenges, every student face somewhere the academic challenges, the challenges faced by me when I was the student. Like at that time, talking about like back 2001, 2002, 2014, that was the time when I was the student, right? So that time the resources were not that much. Now the students have this privilege to have unlimited resources. We usually use books to study, but nowadays students have the digital platforms, right? Along with that, students have number of courses. We used to learn traditional courses only, but nowadays the modern courses which are required in order to enhance our knowledge, in order to enhance our skills, practical approach are there. All those courses are being introduced in that along with the traditional courses also, so students are getting benefit out of it. Students are having the digital resources to learn. Students are having the good guidance of their teacher. The mentors are there to provide mentorship to them to guide you. And here in LPU we are having everything. We provide good guidance to our students. We provide mentoring sessions to our students, and traditional courses, along with traditional courses, we are touching the modern courses also, like the data science is there, artificial intelligence, whether it is robotics, right? Every course is being taught to every student. So that is I can say the privilege to nowadays students.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, ma'am. So as you were discussing all about your department, we have another question popped up. So attendee wants to know that what is the placement criteria? How we prepare our students for the placements drives?
Okay, specifically if I talk about LPU, so in LPU we like focus 200% so on the placements of students, because nowadays students are keen and they want to get admission in that institution where the placements are very good. And here in LPU we focus on students placements, and we provide the various pep sessions for the students so that they can enhance their communication skills, they can enhance their mathematical ability, they can learn what are the various criterias nowadays companies are searching for. We prepare them for their interviews, right? We prepare them for their interview exams. So lots of sessions being provided to the students, talking about their soft skills also and talking about the technical skills also. So placement is the major criteria of LPU we guys are focusing on.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much for resolving the queries of our students. So we have another query from Shivaputra Satel, if I'm pronouncing it right. He wants to know that currently in cloud, there is a Azure also very good. So can you provide Azure training also?
Yeah, basically I'm certified from AWS. If I need to provide Azure services, I have information about Azure, I have to crack their exam first. But yes, that is sure I can provide like crisp knowledge about Azure, because the services Azure is using is somehow different from AWS, but the basic platform is same, because that is also a cloud service provider like Oracle. And I talked about earlier also the various cloud service providers. I can provide you the information. If you are LPU student, you can anytime come to me, visit me, and we can have a discussion about it. That is like, I'll be glad to have a talk with you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And attendees, if you want to know about this Azure, we'll discuss with the authorities and we'll plan the another webinar on this topic as well. So thank you so much, ma'am, for resolving all the queries of our attendees. And yes, we have few questions from admission part of point, that what about MCA in LPU, and how can I pursued MCA in cloud computing? So attendees, for all these things, we have our admission nominee. So I would like to welcome Mr. Pankaj Vij. Sir, can you please join us?
Yeah, I'm there. I hope I'm visible on the screen.
Yes, sir.
Great. So I need to share my presentation. Just give me a moment.
On it, sir. So yes, attendees, all the queries regarding the admission will be resolved by sir. So have patience. He'll discuss about all the points, and then we'll get to know about all the queries you want to know about the eligibility, fee structure, and a person who is from maths background, he can join this course or not. So sir will answer all these queries. So
Very well.
yes, sir.
So,
Over to you, sir.
right. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ruby. I hope my screen is all well and visible.
Yes, sir, it is.
Great. So, students, what I gathered from the last session was AWS, the star of the day, right? So, we got a deep insight into the AWS system of things in education and things like that. And obviously, you asked a lot of questions when it came to AWS. So, I just need to tell you something about the university, LPU. A few years, like last 2 years, had been, I guess my video is creating a bit of problem. Just give me a moment. Okay.
Not an issue, sir. You can pause the video because we can see the screen and your audio is audible.
That's what I'm doing. Right. Okay. The content is most important. So students, talking about LPU, coming back to LPU, when we talk about LPU, just give me a moment. Okay, so we are a university that is not only known for creating academicians or not only known for creating researchers, but we are also known for creating sports people. So we have created sports people. What you're seeing on your screen are the Olympians that have been our students or our students as of now. So these people, a total of 13 people went to Olympics and 12 of them bagged gold medals for the university, for the country, for the state itself. So we are not only known for creating academicians, but we are also known for creating sports people and cultural activities and so on and so forth. Quite recently, the concluded Khelo India University Games, we bagged the second position. That's the runner-up trophy was awarded to LPU. Neeraj Chopra is our student. Apart from that, Bajrang Punia is our student. So a lot of people who are sports people are our students, not only academicians, as I was telling you that, yes, but we are also creating sports people of repute. These are those flag bearers, those people who have who are our alumni and are earning more than 1 crore as a package. So probably you could be one of them. So these are the kind of people that we are producing. These are the kind of students who have been our alumni. Quite recently, our Chancellor, Dr. Ashok Mittal, was invited to the House of Lords at the British Parliament, and it's the mecca of democracy out there in Britain. So he delivered a lecture over there. So we've got quite a few intellectual capital, starting from the top to the bottom. Talking about rankings for Edu University is quite important. I'll give you some insight into the rankings of the university. The World University Ranking 2023 has ranked us 23rd amongst the Indian universities. We have been ranked 47th. There are over 1,000 universities in India. We have been ranked 47th by the Ministry of Education, NIRF. That's our ranking pan-India by NIRF. We have been ranked 13th as the best law school or the best law department at LPU. We have been ranked 12th in architecture, pan-India. We have been ranked 19th in pharmacy. We have been ranked 51st in engineering. Mind you, students, we are ranking in engineering as above than quite a few IITs and NITs across the country. And we have been ranked 34th in business studies all over India. This is the Ministry of Education, Government of India rankings. Another international ranking that we have got, Times Higher Education Impact Ranking, has ranked us 74th globally. Atal ranking, quite recently, the Atal ranking, we have been ranked 3rd in India. So quite a few good rankings that we have bagged in quite a few years. Campus life, when you come to the campus, this is the thing, or these are the things that you can expect. Previous 2 years, I was telling you that have gone to Corona, and Corona has had disturbed education quite a bit, but now we are back, we are running, and the students are in the campus. This is what you can expect when you come to the campus. The year was 2019, and we hosted the Indian Science Congress, which was the 106th edition of it, and Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the event. Dalai Lama, he was here a few years ago, giving away degrees in one of the convocation ceremonies. Then we had two former presidents of India and Afghanistan sharing the same stage, giving away degrees in one of the convocation ceremonies. Shri Arun Jaitley, the former finance minister of India, the late finance minister of India, was here. He started a startup school. He inaugurated a startup school. Gauhar Gopal Das, people like spiritual intellects, they also come to the campus. And yes, of course, the real life heroes, who are the real life heroes of our young generation, they also throng the campus. Students, they don't only come to sing and dance, but also to interact and share their experiences with you. So this is the kind of campus life and exposure that you can think of when you come to LPU. Infrastructure, education. In education, infrastructure is a very important part. And talking about infrastructure, let me take you through the infrastructure of the university. You're most welcome to come to the university, and this is what you will find over here. We have got libraries, which are completely automated libraries. We have got departments or buildings, which is of this stature. This is a marvel of a building, 14 blocks joined together. And this houses the central library of the university, plus quite a few other departments. That's the auditorium. We have got an auditorium with a capacity of 2,500 people in a single go. At the heart of the 600-acre campus, we have got a mall. Let's go inside. This is the inside of the mall, the Providence stores, where students can purchase their stuff. It's got bowling alleys. It's got gymnasiums. If you're a health freak, which you should be, we've got gymnasiums with international trainers. God forbid any student falls ill, but if somebody falls ill, not to worry. We have got a fully equipped hospital with resident medical doctors, staff, even a dental chair is there at your disposal. And this is what is the pinnacle of our sporting excellence that we have got. That's the aerial view of our sports complex. Let's go inside, have a sneak peek. We have got Olympic-sized swimming pool. This is we have got Olympic-sized swimming pools, and they are all weather swimming pools that we have got. That means in winters it has hot water in it. Moreover, you name a court, you get it. Badminton, volleyball, basketball, even a squash court is there in the sporting complex. We even have a shooting range for the students who are shooters. Cricket pitches, football pitches, everything outdoor sports in ample quantity is present at LPU. That's a panoramic view of the university, This is how your university looks like. That's a night vision of the university. And students, that's a very important slide. You can take a snapshot of this particular slide. And if you want to call us, you can call on our number 1-800-102-4407, or you can write to us on admissions@lpu.co.in. Or you can visit us for knowing about the various programs like www.lpu.in. You want to know about any programs, undergraduate programs, postgraduate programs, doctoral programs, anything starting from a diploma to a doctorate. We are running those programs, and you can get to know about it, about these programs by logging on to our website. That's www.lpu.in. So that was a very brief insight. Just wanted to tell you about the university, what you can expect when you come to the university, and you're most welcome to come to the university. Moreover, you can visit our website, and you can even go for a virtual tour of the university at our website. Dr. Ruby, if you have any questions, if students have any questions, you're most welcome to ask me. Let me try my video once again.
Thank you so much, sir, for the brief introduction about all these things, about the infrastructure, highlights of the university. And so, yes, sir, I think most of the questions you have covered in your presentation, and rest, if there is any kind of queries left, then attendees, you can, just as mentioned, that you can visit our website and everything is available there. You can even WhatsApp us, you can call us, you can if you want a video counseling, then also it is possible. So yes, you can visit our website. So thank you so much, sir. I think you have covered most of the queries from the attendees. So with your permission, I think we'll wrap up today's webinar.
Yes, please, we can wrap it up. And students, if you have any queries, obviously call us on this number, write to us on this particular email ID, or visit us on www.lpu.in. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So attendees, that's all for today. I would like to express my appreciation to the experts for their valuable contribution to our webinar, which was on AWS. Let's explore it. So my deepest gratitude goes to all those who have attended this webinar and helped to make such a successful one. And experts, I'm sure your years of experience, your years of research will definitely help the audience to choose the right path. So until next time, I, Ruby, will finally sign off the session. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.